Well, hello. Let's talk about marketing automation. My name is Don Duvall, and I'm a software engineer, and I am also a marketing manager. I would like to discuss the current state of marketing automation, some of the biggest in the industry, and compare their prices, their features, and their availability to small and medium-sized businesses. The company I work for is an international company. We sell industrial automation, modules, computers, and equipment. And we're not actually that big of a company, but we do have a serious need for marketing automation. And it's really expensive. It is prohibitively expensive. So I would like to talk about this a little bit, and let's go into a quick presentation I have. So this is the name of the project that I would like to start, and I would like everyone who's watching this to be a part of in one way or another. SocioMAuto is, or SocioMAuto, however you would like to pronounce it, is social, email, and web marketing automation. So a lot of people might be asking, why create a new marketing automation system? Well, as I just mentioned, the state of marketing automation is expensive. The competition is, while very fully featured systems, they are extremely expensive. So marketing automation as it stands is expensive, cost prohibitive to most startups and small businesses targeting an online or digital audience. This is definitely the case for the company I work for. We have under 200 employees around the world, and we pay $6,000 a month for our current marketing automation system, which it doesn't even give us a lot of the features that we would like. It adds a lot of things that we don't need. So let's continue. There is some good being done in the open source world. There's Mautic, which is a good start. It's a slow application, actually. It's written in PHP, and it's unable to scale. It's a monolithic design. That means it's a single application that runs on a single server, and this actually requires cron jobs to run in like 15-minute increments, and it will process everything in these 15-minute batches. So if you're looking for some real-time transactional communications or engagements with your prospects or your visitors, your leads or customers, you're not really going to get that. Everything will be delayed, or the entire system is going to run really slow as it processes every single request that comes in. There's no real queuing system here. Next, we have SocioBoard, which is a social profile and account management built in ASP.NET, and it pretty much only works on Windows servers. It is free and open source. It's similar to Sprout Social or Hootsuite. And then we have PHP-List, an email marketing system, which is actually interesting. It's a bit clunky, and again, it's slow and it doesn't scale nicely. It can't go from your 2,000 member list or 2,000 prospect list to the 20,000 that you might have with like a MailChimp or something. It is nice that it connects to whatever SMTP server your company or organization has. So if you have a web server that is running Postfix or SendMail or Qmail, you can actually install PHP-List on that server or another and point it over to your SMTP server, and it will send from your existing email system. This is a really nice feature, something that SocioMAuto will definitely do. So let's continue here. So marketing automation. Marketing automation really solves some complex problems very elegantly. It really nurtures visitors into prospects and then into leads, and hopefully your sales can turn that into a customer. So throughout this talk, I'll be saying VPLCs, which stands for visitors, prospects, leads, or customers. So let's look at some engagement to sales. Here is a quick sort of guide or a comparison of the value of certain types of medium or engagement. So a single page view, we are rating that as 1, since the average page view to sale is about 100. This may not be across all industries. However, in the industry I work, this is definitely the case. Emails, we will see that after about 5 emails targeted, we'll see a customer purchase. And just after 2 webinars, we actually can get a customer to purchase a product or an entire system. So marketing automation really is valuable here. It allows us to track the page views to that unique visitor, and then as we convert them into a prospect, we gather their email address and we're able to email with them. We're able to identify them, figure or determine their interests. We can then send them targeted communications and hopefully get them into a webinar where we can actually get them to purchase something. So we have extremely personalized follow-up. This is very important. So through this whole thing, we're taking our visitors on a journey. So we need to define content or create content and define processes or procedures and engagements for visitors, no matter their position in journey. We want to draw them in with relevant content. Once they're inside of our sort of ecosystem and we have information about them, we've got them to sign up for our blog, they have viewed our pricing page, similar content to that, or actions. Then we want to nurture them through the journey and engage and motivate them. So we have here 3 steps where you might say these are the 3 stages of the journey. You have the organic discovery, which could also be outbound discovery. However, an organic discovery is much better. So you have content, which could be a blog, a podcast, FAQs, or raw data, things that are on your website that people might be searching for, or even trade shows that you're at where someone might come to your booth and ask for a certain literature, or they might want you to contact them. Those are very organic ways to acquire an interested prospect. Then you want to nurture them. So you capture their information, and you do this by having white papers with forms on it. You have webinars where they have to give you a lot of their personal or corporate communication or contact information to join that webinar. You could even have it where these people are giving you their position in the company or the title. They can even get surveys afterwards where you're asking how they would use your products or the like inside of this webinar. You could give out tutorials or demos. You email these prospects while you're nurturing them. And then finally, you have the 3rd step where we're going to go ahead and close that prospect or that lead as a customer. And this is where you would sell to them, and you would give dynamic sales ads or dynamic content on your website or in emails. You would have very specific email sales content to them, and maybe even get on the phone with them and have one-to-one calls and talk about your solution for that customer. These are very sales-oriented tasks here in the 3rd step. That is the final part of the journey here. However, from that part, or from the 3rd step in the journey, they could move all the way back to the beginning where they're just content consumers. You might have a knowledge base that they would frequently view, and you want to know about that. Maybe you can't actually determine what products they purchased due to convoluted sales structures and distributors. Well, if you have a knowledge base and you could tag all of your pages with a specific product number that those pages work for, you can actually start aggregating and collect all of the product numbers that they could possibly have. And then when you find a common product number through all of those pages where they're asking for support and reading your knowledge base, then you could determine or sort of figure that, oh, they must have this product because all 6 of these pages that they have talk about this product and one of the pages doesn't, so it must be this one product. So you can do stuff like that. So let's go ahead and actually compare some of these existing systems. To do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my browser open and we're going to actually look at some of these websites here. I'm not going to restart that. All right, so here is HubSpot. They're not first on my list I had, but we'll start with them. HubSpot is number 1. Everybody who looks at marketing automation knows about HubSpot. They have the best content. They have the best training, the best onboarding. They will train you even though you don't have their product. There's the HubSpot Academy, where you can learn about content marketing. However, again, while there is a free version, this free version gives you the lead analytics dashboard, lead flow, the collected forms, so you can put forms on your website and get some prospects, or they call them leads. I would refer to it as a prospect because they're not actually able to be sold to yet, just because they put information in a form and click submit. They may have just really wanted that white paper. So you can collect information about them. You can engage or you can manage contacts, but notice here that you can't have custom form fields. You don't get phone or email support from HubSpot. So if you're having some issues implementing the system, you're sort of on your own. The blog and content creation tools aren't there. SEO and content strategy is not there. You don't get landing pages. You can't build a landing page in HubSpot unless you upgrade. And look here, even at $50 a month, that still doesn't get you landing pages. It doesn't get you marketing automation. What this tool is, it does not give you the basic. So what you really have to do is notice here you get subdomain availability and some other stuff, but the marketing automation, the real power behind this system, doesn't exist until you go to the professional level. This is $800 a month. If your organization can handle $800 a month for marketing, and again, this is with 1,000 contacts. If you start going, let's say you needed 10,000 contacts, you're looking at $1,300 a month. If your organization can handle paying $1,300 a month to do marketing automation, then great. You're probably a really big company and they see the value in marketing automation and in your marketing department, but that's not the case for a lot of small companies or medium-sized businesses. And even marketing firms that might take on multiple clients and want to provide marketing automation for their clients. Their clients may not be able to pay them $1,300 a month on top of whatever their marketing fees already are. And maybe that marketing firm, maybe they can't afford to do that for all of their customers. It would eat too much of their profits away. So here, HubSpot, great tool, great features, really expensive. And in fact, to do some of the custom reporting and event-based segmentation, this is a very big feature. It's a wonderful feature, and to to do it at the scale they have here on HubSpot, they have to charge $2,400 a month to get this, because they're doing it on so much data. But again, for a small to medium-sized business, it may not be that bad for software to do event-based segmentation, because the list is really not as big as what HubSpot's doing. They have scaling issues, and that's why these costs are driven up. All right, so that's HubSpot. Let's jump over to Marketo. Marketo has some really cool products. They have marketing automation, account-based marketing, which is basically tied into the CRM, sort of like a B2B marketing, from what I understand. They have email, mobile, social, digital ads. You can do web personalization, or sort of landing pages, dynamic content, which is a feature that allows you to put content on your website specific to the prospect who is viewing it, or the lead, or such. And this is all powered through their custom content management system. And I believe with some API magic, you can get this on your CMS with some customization. They have marketing analytics and some content AI. Content AI is a big advanced feature where it sort of determines what the best content is based on what your visitor, prospect, lead, or customer has purchased, what they view. It doesn't actually have to be someone you know about. It could be they know it's a visitor. They can uniquely identify that visitor as some number, but they don't have a name or email address associated yet. But you know that visitor looks at shoes, like here, more than they look at blouses or pants or whatever. They can start displaying like discount, custom coupons in your shop for shoes for that customer to try to entice them to buy. One big problem that I have found with Marketo is I can't actually get pricing. To me, that is a big problem. I can't compare them to anyone else without actually calling them. And at this moment, I'm not interested enough in Marketo to actually give them a call, because I already know if they're not showing a price, it's gonna be expensive. So looking at all these features, this actually looks like better organization of features, or a higher level view of features than what HubSpot was showing us. But already, I mean, it's handling email, it's handling mobile, so they probably have some sort of app that you can customize and install on your customers' phones. They have social, so you can integrate with social media platforms. You can have digital ad placement. Some of these things require big partnerships, which I don't think we could do in SocioMAuto, but we can definitely do marketing analytics. We can do web. We can do dynamic content. We can do social media management, with email. We'll skip mobile, but we can do account-based marketing and marketing automation for sure. And so looking at this, they're not really giving us a price. All right, so let's move to Pardot. Pardot is the system that I am currently familiar with and using at our organization. But if you look here, the standard is $1,000 per month. The pro is $2,000 per month. And then for every 10,000 leads you want here, you're going to pay at least $100 a month. So $1,200 a year additional on top of this. And you have to sign a 2-year contract to receive Pardot. And I don't even know that you can buy Pardot without having a Salesforce license. So you might, but again, that's I don't know, because we bought Salesforce. So all right, moving to the next one here, which is not on the list, but this is one that I have looked at, and it's Ilaqua by Oracle. It looks amazing, but again, it's expensive. They focus on business to business marketing. You have to have less than 10,000 contacts to receive this price, and then you're going to pay for blocks of contacts above that amount. So basic starts at $2,000, and that's 10 users. You have to buy add-ons for SSL certificate usage and custom branding and some other stuff like that, but they have basically the same features as everyone else. Their interface is a little bit nicer than Pardot's. And then we have ActOn. So let's go to ActOn's website here, marketing automation software, marketing platform. And let's jump over to pricing. The reason that I even know about ActOn is because I used to have Sales Logics as our CRM, and ActOn actually integrated with them. They're one of the few. So this pricing here that you see is $900 per month, and of course there's an asterisk here. And that means that you get 2,500 active contacts, 3 marketing users. That's not a lot. We have a team of 14. Both of these are just expensive, $2,000 a month here. So they're really good at following up with you. They really show you that they use their own marketing automation tool, because if you give them information, you chat with them, you do anything, they're going to follow up with you. So let's move over to Sales Fusion. Sales Fusion is rather cool. They do similar things as everyone else, but their system is very nice. It's easy to maneuver. Their pricing is a little bit better. So like this Platform Plus, do it for me approach. Basically, they build out the package. They have integrations with your CRM. Then they really, unless you wrote your own custom CRM, they have an integration for it. Very similar to the HubSpot model of tons of integrations. So I hope you kind of see all these the systems here. They all have these landing page builders. They have drag and drop email. They have A/B testing, campaign management, nurture and account-based marketing. This is something I like about Sales Fusion, is they add pretty much everything at the base level, and then you just work your way up for the amount of contacts you have. They give you analytics. You can get your CRM integration, built-in SEO tools. They come with unlimited support. Very useful when you're new to this. All right. So now that we've taken a look at some of the competition, let's actually start looking at what's required. Why are these so expensive? Some of them are just expensive because they can be. A lot of companies in the marketing space are really intelligent, and they actually charge you for the value that you're going to receive from a product, not necessarily for how much the product actually costs to develop or to maintain or run. You'll see this a lot with marketing software or sales software. If it's critical to your business, if it's critical to your sales organization, it's going to be expensive. If it can earn you $1,000, they're going to charge you $100 to make that $1,000 because they can. Even if the tool that was provided was paid for 10 years ago, their R&D was paid for because of their first few sales. They continue to sell based on the value it brings. And those values that it brings are really they're brought in by these modules. So some of the base features that you would look for inside of a marketing automation tool is dynamic content, email, workflows, a customizable database, some more that aren't represented here by icons, your branded or remove branding from your emails. So that this is the annoying features like in MailChimp, where if you're running the free MailChimp, you have to include the Powered by MailChimp logo and disclaimer at the bottom. Even if you pay for MailChimp, some people have experienced issues with getting that branding off of their MailChimp emails, which they pay for. SwiftPage is known to do this in their email system, where you pay them thousands of dollars a month, and they still brand your emails. HubSpot, until you pay the $800 a month or $200 a month package, they're still going to force branding on all of your emails or on the forms that are generated on your website, and so that's something that that is a value, and it's a frustration. So workflows are engagement programs, the process of nurturing a lead or a prospect, a visitor, whatever you want to call them, and then there's lots more. I'll cover some more in detail here. So moving into this next part of the presentation, I would like to first say I am working on developing SocioMAuto. It is a marketing automation platform that businesses can afford. Small to medium-sized businesses, startups, individuals who are trying to start an online business. I don't care if you're selling bracelets for 50 cents a piece online. You're going to be able to afford SocioMAuto. So SocioMAuto is broken into modules. The first one, the core module, is prospects database. It's responsible for all data related to visitors, prospects, leads, and customers. So it tracks visitors, it monitors unique visitors to the website, it drops a cookie on them, it fingerprints them, and anytime they go to your website or interact with content that is yours, emails, even calling in to phone numbers, if you have that integrated, it tracks all of that. So it tracks their page views, the tags and events, and conversions. So quickly, a tag is a unique identifier on a page, or it can be, that determines the interest of the page. Earlier I was mentioning about figuring out what product someone is interested in. This is a way to do that. When someone goes to a certain page, they can be tagged as going to that page, and events, opening an email and so on, they clicked whatever those events might be. So it also needs to track prospects. Equally, leads and contacts are lumped into prospect tracking here. So it'll monitor prospect conversion and utilization. So you want to figure out when a prospect has converted, what their score was, what their grade is, and so on. How much money did you make? It needs to track that also. So some integration there with the CRM would be needed, or an ERP system. And so we're going to monitor and log all prospect activity, activity from all modules too. So when you send an email, or when one of the integrations does something like you call a prospect, that will be logged as an activity, as long as you have that integration. If they visit web pages, they get put inside of engagement programs or a nurture campaign, and they attend a webinar. All of those activities are going to be logged here, so that you can either do things with that, or you can sort of follow along what that prospect did, or that visitor to prospect to lead to customer, what that process was. And so you can sort of recreate your content or adjust your content to be specific to creating a better experience for the next prospect, or creating a similar experience for other prospects. This is also the segmentation processor or segmentation engine. So when you need to get a list of prospects that you're going to email, or visitors that you're going to start showing specific content to, whatever that segmentation is for, the list of prospects that will be generated will come from this core module. So there's a custom segmentation language and data format that will be created for this, and all data associated with prospects is kept in the core, making logical sense, or making it logical that the segmentation engine is here too. So that custom data could be from any of the other modules, like they opened an email, or they clicked that email, or heck, the email bounced. That gets stored here in the core module, tied to that prospect. And you get custom data storage. Any of the other modules or systems will be able to store custom data related to specific visitors or prospects here, as goes for leads and customers also. So the first piece of this system outside of the core is content. Now remember, in those other systems, I went over, they had dynamic content. So here we want the same. So we want a module that gives you custom or customized content for prospects, visitors, leads, and customers, that you can inject in their emails, or you can inject in websites or landing pages when that person is viewing your website or reading your email. So here you would be able to create custom content definitions. So you create the content types. You get to define, is this for an email? Is this an ad? Is it for a landing page? Is it a banner? Is it a piece that goes in the footer? You actually get to define what types of content you're going to have in that are adjusted here, or dynamically injected into your campaigns. And you'll also have the content authoring and management tool built into the content module as well. Here there's a query interface for retrieving content. It allows content to be retrieved similar to segmentation logic. So inside of this system there is a query interface, which is also what is used for the segmentation. Basically any module can query or request another module for something, and there's a standard interface which all these modules use to do this. You can also get raw content or templatized content, and the difference here is when you retrieve data in a data format, let's say for your CMS or some auxiliary system, you get that data that you stored inside of the system just pumped right back out to you the same way that you stored it into the content module. Or you can create templates, and you can take those templates and you can inject that content into the template, or let SocioMAuto inject that content into those templates and then give it back to you. So in your CMS or in your email, there's just the stylized and the pretty version of that content. It's no longer just data, it's actual content to display at that point in time. So that's what this templatized dynamic content is. And of course, there's going to be more. These are just some of the basic features that I'm saying we should have in this module right away. And again, maybe this module isn't needed. This is part of the cost to value and the cost to required features ratio that we need to get right. We don't want someone to pay $2,000 for features that they're not actually going to need or use. We'd rather someone pay $100 and get exactly the features that they need, and the other ones that they probably would never use, we don't need to implement those. We don't need to charge the customer for features that have no value for the customer. So of course, we need email marketing. A big part of the motivation for SocioMAuto is that you need to own your database. You want to be the person who holds all of that data. You don't want some other company to be holding the ability for you to communicate with your customers or leads and whatnot. You don't want to have to rely on them to be able to deliver your emails. You want your email system to be tied to your organization's email server, that SMTP server, like I was saying with the PHP list. It's a very cool concept. With a large 20,000 prospect email lists, that might not be feasible. It's certain servers don't know how to send large email batches, and there's rules that need to be followed, and we should actually implement those rules to sending large amounts of emails inside of this system. So we'll discuss that also later in time. So you need prospect list management. You need to be able to create, delete, and modify lists, adding and removing prospects from lists. A list could be your North America newsletter, your Latin America newsletter, your Asia Pacific newsletter. It could be product centric. It could be about people or a list of people who want to receive newsletters about funny cat videos. That the topic of the list is what you tell your customers what they're being subscribed to. This is sort of the subscription model that MailChimp has, is where someone is subscribed to a list. They can be subscribed to multiple lists. And so you need to be able to manage your prospect list membership as well. Segmentation. You should have advanced segmentation per campaign, or just each email that you're going to send. Again, you might want to have a very outbound focused email system. You want to send to large lists of your customers. You're going to create this campaign, and that campaign is going to be executed and emailed to your prospects, regardless of whatever the marketing automation system is doing at that time. So this would be scheduled email content, not personalized email content, but this could also be personalized email content. If you're using dynamic content in these emails, you could have a specific topic for the email, but then all the other content around the email is dynamic, specific to their interests based on their website usage habits and history. Campaigns, you could have a nurture email campaign, email actions. So when someone clicks, when someone opens an email, if an email bounces, if they open the email multiple times. You also get A/B testing should be included in here. Email templates. You should be able to send template-based emails. So you create email templates and you define regions of that that have custom content in it for that specific email. And then you could also define blocks in that email that should contain dynamic content. Engagement programs. This is one of the biggest modules, and this is the most complicated module, but it is also the most valuable module and is definitely required for any marketing automation system. The engagement module is for nurturing visitors, prospects, leads, and customers for individual automation and engagement and retargeting. Here, this system is comprised of rules, triggers, logic, and action. Rules are segmentation logic, which qualifies visitors, prospects, leads, and customers to be included in a engagement program. So this would be sort of how you qualify, or you query your system constantly. This will be happening in the background. You set this set of rules, and if anybody meets those rules, it's sort of like filtering logic. So if you have a visitor who views this one page, a pricing page, 3 times in a row, then you might have an engagement program which tries to reach out to that customer or that visitor, or start showing them custom content on the website. There's a lot that can be done here. Basically, this is a way to control for individual users what your entire marketing system does. So you could have triggers. These are actions or events initiated by the visitor, prospect, lead, or customer, which are used to start, advance, retreat, or terminate their position in any given engagement program. So you could have it where a trigger could be viewing the pricing page. Let's say you already know who this prospect is. You've sent them some emails. They then go and look at your pricing page, and that could drop them into a engagement program where it's going to very targeted nurture them into into buying whatever product it was they were looking at, and maybe even trying to upsell them to the bigger purchase. So you have logic. These are building blocks used to guide and make decisions inside of engagement programs. This is where you're going to say if they clicked, if they did this action, or if they didn't. This might be waiting a period of time. If this timer expires, let's say 30 days, and you want to reach back out to a lost opportunity, you could have that as part of the engagement. You could say opportunity was lost, and that's the trigger to create or to drop this prospect into an engagement program. And then this engagement program waits 30 days, and then it follows up. And it could say, hey, we know we missed the mark with you the first time. Have you found a solution that you used? So just an idea of how to utilize the system. I'm not saying that's a good marketing practice, but then you have these actions. This is where you're really engaging with your visitor, prospect, lead, or customer. You're sending them emails, SMS messages, content filtering. This is the dynamic content systems that you're going to be including them in on the website and such, with emails. That dynamic content system, you might trigger a phone call. You could use these actions to flag or set data relating to that person or individual, or their account. You could even have this system generate you a meeting request that gives them an email with a meeting request saying, hey, we'd like to get on the phone with you, or we'd like to connect you to a salesperson. There's a great deal more that this could do also. So the rules, triggers, logic, and actions are all expandable. All engagement programs are built out of blocks, and these blocks are provided to the engagement program module by other modules installed on the system. So in SocioMAuto, your email module actually provides these building blocks, these actions and triggers, and logic to the engagement program module. So that could be in the form of saying there's this new module, or there's this new block that says an email was sent, and that could be a trigger. And so there's an engagement program sitting there just waiting for that trigger, and then when that email goes out, this engagement program picks it up and takes those prospects or leads or customers that just were sent an email in it, and that could be the trigger saying, hey, we sent them an email. And then from there we say, did they open it in 3 days? If they did not open this email in 3 days, we're gonna do something with that. We're going to send them a follow-up in case they missed it 3 days later, if they have, or even instantly if they have clicked that email or opened up that email. We're going to continue them down a different path in this program. So it's a very powerful system, and it's expandable. All modules are able to publish these blocks to the engagement program module. Continuing on, everything's interconnected. So engagement programs are incredibly powerful. They allow for custom marketing programs to be developed with drag and drop blocks. Again, those drag and drop blocks are provided by all the other modules. So every module that's included in the system could increase the potential of customizing your engagement programs. They interconnect in a way that they utilize communication, data, and events from all other modules. What this really does is it delivers an extremely programmable system, and in a way of programming the system visually. So you don't have to be a software engineer, you don't have to know anything about writing code to be able to take this system and develop a program, or develop a customized marketing process that's individualized to each one of your visitors, prospects, leads, or customers. Content scheduling. So here we talk about, or this module is actually not so much marketing automation as it is just digital marketing. What I want with the content scheduling module is to allow you to schedule content to be posted to your blog, social media accounts, and sent to your email lists. It might have some advanced features in the future where it could post to medium.com for you if you write there. It could send SMS messages. It could trigger notifications for custom applications that you might have your customers using. It could even do things like post a video to YouTube. All these different kinds of content that you could have, like podcasts and all this stuff. You might have that waiting and ready because you're going to launch a product. And then you have this system that will just post all of that content along a schedule. There's a great open source system, similar like Mautic, but it's called Campaign Chain. It's open source, it's free, it's developed on, I believe, the Symfony PHP framework, so it means it's slow. Again, it's going to take a big server to scale that thing. So this content scheduling, that system that I just talked about, we want to create a marketing campaign schedule. We want to schedule out content, when it gets posted, where it gets posted. We want to capture all the responses. We want to be able to include this in engagement programs. We want events and activities from this to be tracked and available to your system here with SocioMAuto. It's going to have network integrations. This is something, a new term. It's a network integration is a special integration that allows you to publish inside of SocioMAuto. It is for like a WordPress blog, Facebook, and Twitter. It could be for YouTube. It could be anywhere that anywhere SocioMAuto is going to reach out into a network to be able to post or to retrieve data. So here we have a quick example of if engineering delays your product, what do you do? So your product launch needs to be pushed by a month because they forgot to get UL certification or FCC certification or whatever it is, and so they're trying to obtain that, and you're not allowed to launch the product until you can actually sell it. So using content scheduling, it would be really as simple as taking the start date and just adjusting it. Just move the start date out a month, and all of the other days will subsequently shift by the same variance. Do you need to do follow-up to these activities? What if someone comments on your YouTube video? Well, because the content scheduling is built into the system, when content's posted, there could be a trigger sitting there waiting for someone to comment on it. So there's a possibility. You could create an engagement studio that gets started when the individual either listens to your podcast, they join a webinar that was scheduled and executed on this system. When a landing page goes live and someone fills out a form, that landing page was scheduled using the content scheduling module. All of these possibilities. In the future too, why not have this system, SocioMAuto, actually publish your entire website? It has all of this automation built into it. It's just sort of logical that this thing could produce websites as well, utilizing all of the templating, the dynamic content, scheduling, everything that it can do there. It's not that far of a stretch to add a website module. Maybe not for e-commerce. E-commerce is a whole big thing on itself. We might as well just integrate with Marketo and be done with it. But again, Marketo doesn't have a great blogging system, so maybe you have your blog in this system, which could be simple, but very analytic and content driven with custom content. Or you could even have that in WordPress, and then you have WordPress, and maybe you don't like WooCommerce, so you go and get a Marketo site, and then you have SocioMAuto communicating between both of them with dynamic content. That's very possible, but we could have a very basic website and have landing pages, and a lot of times organizations don't really need huge databases. Well, if you just need to list products but you don't need to sell, well, that is definitely something that we could facilitate inside of SocioMAuto's website module. You could fully integrate your tracking and your website analytics. You can get custom templating, content authoring, a custom taxonomy, asset and data management, which would be like a product system. We could have search built in, and provide extensions. So you could develop, if you do know how to code, we could provide custom extension development. So you might be able to do e-commerce through this website, especially if you use something like Stripe, which is a very easy to integrate with a billing system. So here we get to the integrations. These would be special modules that allow scripting built on top of them. Using an integration, connect to your favorite CRM. You could develop a custom integration easily with a built-in integration system. So we have this integration system that would assist you in developing your integration module. And again, that would be like providing a development environment built into SocioMAuto that's in the browser and saves all of your code and everything into SocioMAuto. And of course, we'll have a sandbox environment that you could instantiate on your setup here. So you could connect any module or allow modules in your system with the integration module. So, you can connect any module or all modules to your system, meaning your auxiliary system, your CRM, your ERP, all of the This one integration module that you would write for SocioMAuto would be exposed to all of the features of like email, of the engagement programs. So you could integrate those into your existing ERP or CRM system. They're simple script-based integrations. With a REST-ish API, we'll say REST-ish because it's not a pure REST. It doesn't follow some of the rules that don't really exist, but some people like to follow, such as the resource mapping oddness, where one resource points to the next, and so on, in a true REST API. You could sync data continuously. There's no need for you to do these big batch jobs anymore. This drives me nuts. We have this batch job at my organization where we take all the distributor contact information. We every day at 9 a.m. we shove it into the database that the website uses, and it grabs all that information and it does stuff with it, and then it displays it on a map. There's actually no reason, besides the fact that IT wants to do that in a batch job and doesn't want to give us direct integration to the CRM for the website. There's no real reason that can't be done continuously, that when the CRM updates a distributor's contact information, it should be able to give me that one distributor contact information. It should be sort of a trigger-based system where they say, hey, we have this data that changed, and it should be able to call a webhook. So SocioMAuto will definitely have continuous data integration. And so now to the big question, the cost. Well, free and open source. I believe that this can all be done in a free, as in beer and freedom, and open source. You should be able to take this system and modify it and push it to your servers. And that's all there really is. You should be able to own your data. You should not be paying $5,000 a month for someone to hold your data. And what happens if for some reason you have a falling out with a company, you don't want to pay them anymore for one reason or another, or maybe you can't pay them? What happens to all that data they have of yours? Valuable customer contact information, all of your prospects, almost your entire sales funnel, or the sort of preloading of that sales funnel. All of that is tied to that $5,000 a month. That's kind of crazy. So we believe, or I believe, it's just me, I believe that your organization should be able to run the software, know the software says it's doing what it's doing, or what it says it's going to do, and you should be able to validate that. And if SocioMAuto goes under, which is not even a company, so technically we can't go under, or I can't go under. If something were to happen, you still have all the source code, so you could technically just continue the development of the software for your own use. Now there is GPL licensing tied to this, so you'd have to publish those changes back, which I'd be happy to receive any changes posted back when I do start this project. We can do this a lot cheaper together. We can develop the software, but I can develop the software and give it away and give out the source code to it. But I would need, I need to find a way for me to be able to work on this full time. So can we do crowdfunding? Would anybody be willing to, for their organization to pay for alpha versions of this software? To maybe I release it on a schedule, and when you get a version of the software before it's actually released, maybe you get you would definitely get the source with it too, or maybe I have Patreon. maybe there are enough companies or organizations or individuals who own companies or startups that would like to see this move forward. A marketing automation system that is actually scalable, that's free and open source, that has the features that they need and easily allows them to add features that they want and integrations that are needed or wanted. Maybe I just have a donation model on the website. When you go to download SocioMAuto from SocioMAuto.com, maybe you are prompted with a donate button. Maybe it's defaulted to $10 or $20 or whatever it might be, and then you download the software. Now, again, this is providing I actually get to develop the software. At the moment, it's just an idea. Maybe I provide commercial hosting. What if I create the Patreon, and anyone who donates a certain amount on Patreon gets SocioMAuto in a hosted environment for them to use? Or what if I actually provide real custom commercial hosting for SocioMAuto, where you're not paying for the software, you're just paying for me to host it? I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your feedback. And again, how to help. I need funding. People can help with coding. Tell people about this project. I will be creating the website SocioMAuto here really soon. You could test it. You can submit feature requests. Again, my name is Don Duvall. If you would like to help with this project, if you would like to help fund this project, or if you would like to see a free and open source marketing automation tool actually be developed and be published to be available, one that is stable, has a very clean architecture, is designed for enterprise systems, which a lot of startups use enterprise class systems. A lot of them are going to use Salesforce, even though Salesforce is ridiculously expensive. Heck, if you're using Sugar CRM or vTiger, no matter what it is, you might be using some free system. You might be using HighRise, whatever your CRM is, or your ERP system. You might not even have any of that. You might just have WordPress, and you want to really utilize marketing automation. If you really want that, I would be glad to help. I would also be glad to receive money for this. So let's see if we can actually make SocioMAuto a real thing. All right, well, that's all I have. Again, please go ahead and contact me. You can find the information on SocioMAuto.com.